Who told you you couldn't have it all? Who told you that you couldn't be a mother, that you couldn't hold credentials, that you couldn't live a life that was pleasing to you, and that it had to be all about the home? Who said that?
So bring it over. Bring your love to me, baby. Bring your love to me, baby. So bring it over. Bring your love to me, baby. Hey, so I can treat you like a queen, baby. Like a queen.
Who said that it'll be difficult for you to balance motherhood, wifehood, and the home with doing what you want to do? Who said that? After you figured out who said it, we're going to go ahead and we're going to block them. You don't have to physically block them, but we're going to block the things that they say out of our mind. Because let's be real, they're operating in their sense of fear and their sense of lack. And they're projecting it onto you because they wish they could have done all the things that you were doing. But instead, they make you feel like you just can't do it, or you need to choose one. Welcome to the Empowered Space. My name is Queen Mother Mrs. Lacey Taylor. I am the Melanated Millennial Homemaker, and I want to wish you balance, love, and light. And let's jump right into it. This is how I manage motherhood, wifehood, and my peace of mind. Let's go. All right. So welcome, and more welcomes. Let me tell you, limiting beliefs are real. Okay, when I tell you limiting beliefs are real, they're real. So what is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is a belief that you have to choose one thing and you can't have all that you want. Say, for instance, when I was a little girl, I said I wanted to be a mommy. I wanted to be a dentist. And I wanted to travel. Do you know that so many people have told that little girl that if she's a mommy, she can't travel? And if she's a dentist, she's not going to have time to be a mommy? That's sad. And why would an adult put those limiting beliefs on a child? Projection. They're projecting their own fears and their own sense of lack onto you to make you feel like you have to choose one or the other. You can't have everything. And I come here to tell you, yes, you can. You can have whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to limit yourself to just being a mother. You don't have to limit yourself to just being a homemaker. If you want to be a mother who homemakes, who has credentials, do it. Go to school. Invest in yourself. You know, my mind is a little different from a lot of people. You know, even though like I'm doing a lot, like I'm a homemaker, I'm an entrepreneur, content creator. I bake all of my family's bread. Cook just about all of our food if we don't order something out, which we rarely do. Homeschool my children. I write their curriculums. I don't purchase curriculums. I write their curriculums. And I teach people how to do all the things that I do. Yet I still felt like I wasn't doing enough. So I enrolled into grad school because I wanted to do more. And because I wanted to do more, I made sure I did more. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there, start grad school, start doing all the things. You just may be overwhelmed. One thing that makes me different from the average person is that I'm a soldier. I'm retired Army. My work ethic is a little different the way that I see myself is a little different. Because one thing that the Army taught me was to be all I could be. And that's one reason why I love the military. I love the Army so much, is because they empowered me instead of making me choose. When I was in active duty Army, they invite you to go to college. They invite you to travel when you have leave. They invite you to pour into yourself. But it's up to you to choose to do so. But you don't have to go to the Army to get all of these invitations. No. You just have to, one, figure out who you are, what you want to do, and how you're going to get there. That is how you manage motherhood, wifehood, and doing the things that you want to do, your sanity. I absolutely, positively love me. Okay, there's nobody like me. There will never be anybody like me. There might be people who try to be like me, but there is only one Queen Mother, and that's on period. Yeah, there's only one. You see this? You see right here on my screen? That's over 200 pieces of bread that I baked by my hand, by myself, for me and my husband's celebration of love. Let me tell you, that celebration of love was top tier. I spent 3 years planning it, all while I was being an entrepreneur, doing all the things with content creation, teaching people how to bake bread, teaching people how to govern their home successfully with psychological theory. I still did that. And mind you, we just had a baby the year prior. And I wouldn't change a thing. I would not, because let me tell you, even though those adults, when I was a child, told me that I should choose one, I can't have it all. And then when I grew up, the Army told me that I could be all I could be and that I can have it all. I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to live my life the way that I want to live it, because when you take your last breath, that's it. You don't have another chance to do things over. So one thing that helps me with managing motherhood, wifehood, and, my sanity is creating goals. But let me tell you, when you create your goal, you have to make sure that it's actually doable. Have you heard of S.M.A.R.T goals? Have you heard of a S.M.A.R.T goal? Let me get the acronym for you, because I be messing up the acronym. Let me get the acronym, and I'm going to share it with you. All right, so if you heard of S.M.A.R.T goals, let me share with you what the acronym means. Because, like I said, I be messing up the acronym sometimes, but I be knowing how to make these goals, okay? So first is specific. You have to be specific in the goal that you're setting. What is it? What is it? What is the goal? Okay? And then you gotta think about it. How can I measure this goal? You got to make sure it's measurable. That's the M. So first you have S for specific, M for measurable. What is it? Measurable. How am I going to measure my progress? Am I going to make sure that this goal has phases? And that is what I highly recommend. The way to properly manage your goal, or measure your goal, is to put it in phases. So say for instance, when I said I wanted to bake all of my family's bread, I had it in phases, and I'm going to share that with you in the end. And then you have achievable. Is it achievable? Is it realistic? Because let's be real, sometimes we can have goals and they're not achievable. They're not realistic, especially given the tools that we have. And can I really do this? So make sure that it's achievable. And then you have R, relevant. Is it relevant to my life? How is it going to enrich my life and my way of life as I know it right now? Is it relevant? Am I going to be able to, expand on this goal? And then time bound. How much time am I going to give myself? So let me tell you, or let me show you my SMART goal of how I started baking 100% of my family's bread. So my specific goal was I want to bake 100% of my family's bread. I'm talking about sandwich bread, tortillas, flour tortillas, muffins, dinner rolls, hamburger buns, hot dog buns, croissants, anything with flour that had a bread-like consistency. I said I wanted to make cookies, everything. And so that was the specific goal. Next was measurable. So in order for me to measure this goal, I had to break it down into phases. So my first phase was learning how to make biscuits, and I perfected biscuits. And then after I perfected biscuits, I went on to tortillas. And then after tortillas, I went on to making dinner rolls. Okay? And then after dinner rolls, I went on to learning how to make hot dog buns and hamburger buns. And then I went on to learning how to bake pizza. And then I finally learned how to make sandwich bread. And for the life of me, I still can't understand why I was so intimidated in making my family's sandwich bread. That intimidated me. It's like I beat it all around the bush until it was time for me to learn how to make sandwich bread. And I studied different sandwich bread recipes for months. Okay, so that's how I measured it. I broke my specific goal into phases. And then achievable. Is this achievable? Yes, it is achievable. Because so long as I have a running oven, so long as I have flour, water, oil, and yeast, I'm going to be able to bake 100% of my family's bread. I'm going to be able to do it. It is 100% achievable. It just takes time and preparation. Also, another thing, when you want to switch over to making your family's bread, what you need to learn how to do is start making batches of bread to freeze for the days where you ain't got it and you don't feel like getting it, but you can grab it out the freezer and heat it up, and you'll have fresh bread for your family. All right. And then we have to have relevant. Is this relevant? Yes, it is relevant, because let me tell you, that store-bought bread, it made my family bloat. On top of the bloating, it broke my daughter out. Like, we had to cut back our processed foods tremendously because of my eldest daughter's skin allergies to certain foods. And when you look at a lot of these ingredients, you will see, milk or dairy in something that you would look and be like, why would this have dairy in it? She has a dairy insensitivity, and dairy is in bread. I had to learn how to make dairy-free bread. Dairy-free, egg-free bread, to be specific. She's not allergic to eggs, no. But let me tell you, and the way that eggs have gone recently, eggs are expensive, and I don't have time to be putting 3 eggs in my bread. No ma'am. Okay, and then we got time bound. When do I want to bake? Like, by what time do I want to bake all my family's bread? Like, how many months do I want to give myself, or how many years do I want to give myself to learn how to bake all these different bread recipes? So I told myself I wanted to bake all of my family's bread within a year. I wanted to learn all the recipes within a year. And I did. And then after I learned all the basic recipes, I was able to then tweak the recipes to where it doesn't have egg or it doesn't have milk. Because in the beginning, I was making bread with milk. That's because, I was still new, And that's one thing we have to remember when we're starting a goal, when we write down a goal and we start on this goal. So we have to remember that we have to give ourselves grace, and we cannot expect the most out of us when we first begin. Because you expecting the most out of yourself when you first start a goal is like expecting a newborn baby to tell you what they need verbally instead of crying. It don't work like that. You have to give yourself grace, and you have to allow yourself the time to learn what you need to learn, so that when you get to your goal date, you can analyze whether you've met that goal or you still need more time. And if you need more time, it's okay. It's okay. So now that I've broken down the SMART goals to you, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, what goal are you going to make? I want you to put it down in the comments what goal that you plan to make, and when do you plan on achieving this goal? And depending on the goal, Queen Mama might be able to give you some pointers. So if you're in the market for some pointers, I invite you to share. We're a community, and after all, this is the empowered space with Queen Mother, and why would you not want to be empowered by me? So if you have not already, I invite you to subscribe. Yes, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you will never miss a vlog. Also, make sure you engage with me in the comments, because when you engage with me in the comments, I am able to, one, know what you need, fulfill your need, and I'm able to empower you the way you need to be empowered on any given day. Okay? So balance, love, and light, and thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, peace.